St. Mel's Community College ran a disco for students. The disco was organised by a committee of students from St. Mel's, and the committee did not have to pay for admission. Otherwise, students from St. Mel's paid €10 each for admission, while students from elsewhere paid €20 each for admission. The total number of students at the disco was 486. When the admission money was counted, it amounted to €7,620. It was noted that twice the number of paying St. Mel's students plus the number of committee members equal the number of admissions from elsewhere. Part 1. Write down 3 equations to describe the situation. Part 2. Hence, solve the 3 equations. So we're going to start off by writing down 3 equations to describe the situation. So we're going to let x equal the number of students on the committee. We're going to let y equal the number of paying students from St. Mel's. And we're going to let z equal the number of paying students from elsewhere. So the total number of students at the disco was 486. So x represents the number on the committee. Y represents the number paying from St. Mel's, and Z represents the number from elsewhere. The total adds up to 486. So the number in the committee plus the number in St. Mel's plus the number from elsewhere should equal to 486. So we're going to say X plus Y plus Z equals 486. Where X represents the number from the committee, Y represents the number from St. Mel's, and Z represents the number from elsewhere. So the total number of students at the disco was 486. So here we have equation number 1. Next we're going to set up equation number 2. So again, X represents the number of students on the committee, Y represents the number of students from St. Mel's, and Z represents the number of students from elsewhere. So we were told that the committee did not have to pay for admission. So we're going to have 0 multiplied by x. So x is the number of students from the committee, and they have to pay 0. So they don't have to pay at all. So 0 multiplied by x. €0 multiplied by the number of students from the committee. X represents the number of students from the committee. We were told that St. Mel's paid €10 each. So we're going to have 10 multiplied by y. Y represents the students from St. Mel's, and they pay €10 each. So €10 multiplied by the number of students from St. Mel's is 10 multiplied by y. And we were told that the students from elsewhere pay €20 each. So if Z represents the students from elsewhere, then we're going to multiply 20 by Z. So €20 multiplied by the students from elsewhere is 20 multiplied by Z. And we were also told that when the admission money was counted, it amounted to €7,620. So all of this is equal to €7,620. So X represents the students from the committee. They paid €0 each. They didn't have to pay at all. Y represents the students from St. Mel's. They paid €10 each. And Z represents the students from elsewhere. They paid €20 each. And all of this added to €7,620. Now we're just going to simplify. 0 times x just cancels out. 10 times y is 10y. And 20 times z is 20z. And this is equal to €7,620. So here we have equation number 2. Now we're going to set up equation 3. So it was noted that twice the number of paying St. Mel's students plus the number of committee members equaled the number of admissions from elsewhere. So again, X represents the number of students on the committee, Y represents the number of students from St. Mel's, and Z represents the number of students from elsewhere. So twice means multiplied by 2. So twice the number of St. Mel's. So St. Mel's is represented by y. So 2 times St. Mel's is the same thing as 2 times y, and 2 times y is just 2y. Plus means add. The number of committee members is just going to be x. X is equal to the number of students on the committee. So 2 times y plus x, so twice the number of St. Mel's paying students, plus the number on the committee, equaled, so next we have equals, the number of admissions from elsewhere, and z represents elsewhere, so it's equal to z. So 2 times y, 2 times the students from St. Mel's, plus x, plus the committee, is equal to z, is equal to the students from elsewhere. So now we have our third equation, equation number 3. Hence, solve the 3 equations. So our 3 equations are x plus y plus z equals 486, 10y plus 20z equals 7620, and 2y plus x is equal to z. Now, notice that the second equation does not contain an x. So what we're going to have to do is take the first equation and the third equation and eliminate the x's so that we have an equation in terms of y and z. But usually in these questions, if we have x, y and z in all 3 equations, we would eliminate the z's first. But in this case, since there is no x in the second equation, it has to be the x that we eliminate. So we're going to combine equation 1 and equation 3 to eliminate x. So we write down equation 1 as it is, x plus y plus z is equal to 486. We're going to take equation 3, we're going to rearrange it so that the x's, y's and z's are all on the left and the constants are on the right. So the z comes over the equal sign and becomes minus z, and we let it equal to 0. So we have x plus 2y minus z is equal to 0. We're going to multiply by minus 1, or you could just change the signs. So x becomes minus x, 2y becomes minus 2y, minus z becomes positive z, and that's all equal to 0. Now our x's will cancel because we changed the signs, and then y minus 2y is minus y, z plus z is 2z, 486 plus 0 is 486. So now we're going to take equation 4, which is in terms of y and z, and we're going to take equation 2, which was also in terms of y and z, and we're going to solve for y and z. And when we have our y and z values, we can substitute them into one of the original equations to find our x value. Okay, so now we're going to combine equation 2 and equation 4 to get this. So equation 2 is y plus 2z is equal to 762. We'll just write that down as it is. We don't have to change anything. And equation 4 was y minus y plus 2z is equal to 486. So again, we just write that down as it is. We don't need to change anything. Now the y's will automatically cancel. So y minus y is 0. If we had y and y, we would have had to change the signs, but it just so happens that the y's will automatically cancel. 2z plus 2z is 4z, 762 plus 486 is 1248, and dividing 1248 by 4 gives us z equal to 312. Now we're going to substitute z equals 312 into equation 2 or equation 4 so that we can find y. So we're going to go with equation 2. So this is equation 2. So we're going to swap the z for a set of brackets and put 312 into it. But we could have gone with equation 4. We could have swapped that z for a set of brackets and again put 312 into it. But we're going to go with equation 2, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. So y plus 2z is equal to 762. We swap that z for a set of brackets and put 312 into it. 2 times 312 is 624. And 762 minus 624 is 138. So y is equal to 138. So we found z, we found y. Now we need to sub both of those into one of the original equations containing an x to find x. So finally, substitute z equals 312 and y equals 338 into equation 1. So it doesn't have to be equation 1 so long as it's one of the equations, one of the original equations that has an x in it. So we're going to go with equation 1, which is x plus y plus z is equal to 486. So we write down the x as it is. We swap the y for 138 because that's what we worked y out to be. We swap the z for 312. 138 plus 312 is 450. And 486 minus 450 is 36. So x is equal to 36. So there are 36 committee members, because remember we let x equal to the number of committee members. There are 138 St. Mel's students, because we let y equal to St. Mel's students, the number of St. Mel's students. And there are 312 students from elsewhere, because we let z equal to the students from elsewhere. It's important, if you are asked a maths question in English, if it's a paragraph type question, you need to answer it with a sentence. So simply saying x is equal to 36, y is equal to 138, and z is equal to 312 is not going to give you full marks. You need to go back to the question and answer it in English.